So, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the probably most useful little program I've ever written. And as you can probably imagine, it has something to do with videos. So this little neat program that you see here is going to help me a lot with my life as a YouTuber, because it was written exactly for one purpose. If I record videos, I mostly do that with a higher frame rate, with a higher bit rate. And if you go to details, you can probably see I recorded it with a 50 mbit per second, also, I mean megabit, 50 megabit per second bit rate, and of course 60 frames per second, because this is Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 3 is an first-person shooter, and first-person shooters should be played at least 60 FPS. I would play at and record at 120 if I could, but OBS doesn't allow this at the moment, at least not to my knowledge. So this is an old video, as you can see. It's from July 2016, so I don't need that video anymore. It's uploaded already to YouTube, but I want to keep it because YouTube is not forever, and all of us should keep that in mind. YouTube will probably be around for quite some years, but not forever, and we have to archive our videos, hence the name of the application. So what are we going to do? I already did this one, so this one is 7 GB, and after re-rendering, and I mean just re-rendering with X264, I'm sorry. It's a library that has a lot of useful cases, but I'll use the FFMPEG version, and it has lib X264 built in, so I can just use FFmpeg to re-encode my video. And after re-encoding, this 7 GB version was just 1.8 GB, because it automatically reduced the data bit rate. Okay, I have to translate from German, I'm sorry. It reduced the bit rate from 46,000 kilobits per second to, I think, about 8 or 10 megabits per second. So visual quality was the same, at least for my eyes. Frame rate stayed the same, but the bitrate was reduced to a level where the codec found it acceptable. So what you do is you select this, and I wrote the application so that you can select multiple files, probably in the evening. You've done your job, you've done your recording, you did everything, but you have still a lot of these video files laying around. Some YouTubers, and I think quite a lot of YouTubers, don't go to the extent and store them or archive them even. So for those, if you are one of those people, this application is probably not for you. But if you are one of those who loves to store your videos, you can use this application and click open. So these will appear here. Target path, this folder search is a bit tedious, because you have to go through every single oh, I need to go to network. I have an little server, an Ubuntu server, so I select share, and I'll already have a lot of videos on there. And D is a local drive, so I want to get it from my local drive, re-encode it, and put it on my share folder in my video server. And I have to select the FFMPEG path, which I won't do at the moment because it's probably somewhere else on your computer. And if you have already installed, I mean really install your FFmpeg, so it will find it automatically. I have not included this feature in the application yet, but it will in the future. And at the end, you would click archive here at the bottom, and it would start archiving the videos in the order you selected them here. So it would take this video and build a command line string and send it to the operating system, which will operate on that. And this wouldn't be a programming channel if I didn't show you how it works. And it's really simple, and I mean it's really simple. You can see that bar here on the side is quite big. So this is just UI stuff, so you can select your files, you can, oh, this is still called button one click. You can select the target folder, and yes, and here you can select your FFmpeg path, because it's not installed on my computer. It's just an executable that lies around in some documents folder or something. So this here is all the magic. All the magic there is in this little thing, and this is just for checking if you selected the right, if you selected valid stuff. And this is not even intense checking, it's just null checking. So you just select your target path, where you want your rendered videos to be, and then you go just over your file names, and each file name, this method extracts the pure file name, because this is not the full file name, it's the full file path plus file name, but that variable name would be too long. So if you have just your file name, and here in your arguments you just build I is for input, your full file name, so your source file name. This is the target path added to with a directory separator. This is to make it more cross-platform. I don't know if this code is cross-platform because of the process class. I imagine it's only Windows, so I don't know if Mono has this class, but just added to the file name and some quotes here at the end. So this here is registered as a distinct target path, and you just call process start. And the most important thing is you wait for exit, because re-encoding your video is quite CPU intensive. So I think it's more in the sense of an archiving application that you do it sequentially and not concurrently, because if you would do it concurrently, you had about the number of file names you selected, FFmpeg application instances open at the same time, using a lot of RAM and using a lot of CPU. And I think you don't want it. You want one video at a time, but then at the maximum speed and at full RAM usage. This is not an application that's made for big servers, because the rules on big servers is different. On big servers you can run multiple things at the same time, and if you have a huge server, you probably have an application just like this, but more professional. If you look at this, here's an await on task run. This just ensures that everything, this for each here, and waiting for the process, your FFMPEG process, to exit, just runs in the background and your UI doesn't get stuck. A lot of programmers forget this, but I didn't. So that's a feature for this program. It runs in the background. You can just, if it runs, click this little button and it's gone and just works in the background. Downside is, this is an Windows application, so you need, if you run it on a server or something, you need to run Windows on it. This is an extra cost factor. If you are a small YouTuber, you either do run this program on your same machine, but remember, it takes a lot of CPU and RAM, so don't do it while you're recording or while you're playing video games. If you watch Netflix or YouTube in the background, it's okay. I've tested it. But don't do any computation intensive stuff in the background. So yeah, that's about it. It's a small project, and you can find the link to the GitHub page of this application in the description. And if you're not a programmer but are still interested in this application, just hit me on direct messaging, Twitter, or just in the comments. Probably comments would be the most easy. And say you want an executable, and I will create an executable file on GitHub, make a release, and post the link to the executable file in the description. So I hope this program will help you. There are a lot of features this program could have, especially saving your folders where you mostly select your videos, because your videos are probably on one drive, and the videos you want to re-encode after another are probably just in one folder, like this all Battlefield 3 videos of one season. So yeah, that's about it. So, and I hope you liked this video, and if you did, you know the rest. And thanks for watching, and goodbye.